Hello, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. I've got a really fun project for you today, which I made this last night, and as you can see, the sentiments are a bit crooked. So I thought I'd make this again, put it on video, show you how I did it. This is not my idea. I took this from Pinterest from a lady called Lori Whitlock. I don't know what part of the world she comes from. I don't know if it was her that made this or somebody that she knew made it. It was difficult to tell from the Pinterest post, and I just thought it was so much fun I had to have a go at that. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be a better version of this. I found a way that I'm going to get around that, so I'm going to do that again. But let me show you this from start to finish. You're going to need some white cardstock that measures 8¼ by 5 7/8. And you are going to need some pieces of, I've used gingham. You don't have to use gingham, but I think gingham works quite well with this plaster design. And these are 3 inches by 1 inch. Let me just check that. Yes, 3 inches by 1 inch. And then you need, you'll see on this gingham, this is from the paper stack, which my blog post relating to this project is in the description bar below, and there's a link to all of the products in that blog post. So the paper stack has that on one side and it's got that on the other, and so that's what I've used. That's what I've used there. So you need a piece of that that measures 1 inch square. So out of 3 pieces of 6 by 6 from the paper stack, you can make 3 cards, which is quite good value for money, I think. So let's put this to one side and let's get out our supplies. So there's my Whisper white cardstock that I have cut down 8¼ by 5 7/8, and I've scored down the long side straight in the middle at 4 1/8. So that's the basis of my card. And then I've got a piece here of mint macaron. You can use any colour you like. I just had a bit of scrap of this left over from another project, so that is 4 inches by 5 3/4. And then I've got each of my pieces of gingham. This is Lovely Lipstick, this is Old Olive, and this is Rich Razzleberry. I keep forgetting. And then the other thing that I've done using the Well Said stamp set, which has got lots and lots of lovely sentiments on there, everything you're going to possibly need, I've then stamped those just using Memento ink, and I've stamped those on the little bit of mint macaron that I had left, because every time I stamped this it was crooked. So I stamped it onto the card, and then I've just literally with a pair of scissors cut round it, and then that prevents any mishaps with crooked sentiments. So you're going to take each of your, let's just prepare our plasters first. You're going to take each of your pieces of DSP, and now I normally use my envelope punch board to round the corners, but that's not available anymore, sadly. That was a sad day when I found out that wasn't available anymore. But we've got the Detail Trio Punch, which is still available. But what is difficult with that, with the Detail Trio Punch, is rounding that corner. So let's just try it with this first. I'm just going to round each of those. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can do it by eye with a pair of scissors, or you could draw around something. Could do a better job of that. You could just draw around something just to get a curve and then cut round that. There's always lots of different techniques how you can do these things. Right, let's see if this works. I think probably not. No, not even going to try that. So if you have an envelope punch board, which I have, it's just fallen over down here, this is how I prefer to do it. Just makes a slightly quicker job of it. Rounded those off, so we just quickly do the rest. This is a good card to do if you want to get a production line going. If you want to make a stack of them, maybe you're selling them at maybe at craft fairs, or if you've got a little shop that you sell your cards from, or you just want to have a stack on standby. I've got someone in mind that I'm going to send this to. And then the last one. Getting a bit of a workout here this morning, punching all of these. I'm probably making the table shake. There we go. So that's all of those. Now, choice is yours. You could have that on there as a plaster, but I just think it kind of loses it. When we put this on, we're actually going to raise it slightly, which might help, but I wasn't altogether convinced with that, and that's why I went with that. So let's start constructing this now. So I've got my white card, I've got my mint macaron, but like I say, it can be any colour, just something that goes with your other colours. I'm going to use Tombow, and I'm going to stick that. Surprised this bottle of Tombow is still going. Just when I think it's empty, I can still squeeze a bit more out. And we'll just stick that on there like that, and that's going to have a 1/16 of an inch frame or border all the way around it. Get that wiggled quickly to get your border right before it grabs. So then your 3 plasters you're going to stick. I like to get everything laid out first before I stick it down. Just so I know where they're going to go. And then what we're going to do, we'll stick those on afterwards. Right, let's get these down first. When I saw this on Pinterest, I thought it was just such a lot of fun, and it just really stood out from every other Get Well card that I'd seen. There are others as well. There are others that are like a tissue box with the tissue coming out of it. I quite liked that. This one did really catch my eye because it's colourful as well. So there are my 3 plasters, which I think are straight. Nobody looks to see if your projects are straight or if they're perfect. I think they just see the card and they just think that they know they've been given a handmade card. They're not going to get a ruler out and measure it. Now I'm going to put these on with dimensionals. No project of mine is complete without a mini dimensional. So I'm just putting 2 onto each of those. My lovely crafty friend, Crafty Karen Designs, will be impressed that I've put 2 on there, as she knows, as everyone does, that I can be quite stingy with my mini dimensionals. So I'm just going to put that, excuse me, in the middle there, like that. So that gives our little cushion bit of our plaster. And I'm going to do the same with the others. A good scrap busting project this. I love a scrap busting project. I've got scrap paper all over the place and I hate throwing it away. So I like ideas like this where it gives me some inspiration as to what I'm going to do with my scraps. Okay, so final plaster going down. The blog post that's attached to this has all of the details of measurements and products that I've used. So you don't need to worry about writing anything down. Just head off over to the blog. So we're just going to have these there like that. Or do we want them? I don't know. No, let's just stick with that. We don't need to overthink it. And I'm just sticking these down with a bit of wet glue, just so that I can wiggle them a little bit. There we are. So this is going in the post this afternoon to somebody who's not feeling very well at the moment. And then the last one. So I just want to say on camera, thank you very much, Lori Whitlock, for the inspiration for this. Just such a fun project, absolutely fun. And it's been great making it. And I've got another set of paper just ready to make one more of those. So there we go, a really fun get well card. If someone's not feeling very well, they're going to get this in the post, or you're going to give it to them by hand. And I think that will just make them smile. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be along again soon with another project. See you soon. Bye bye.